What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Drive Show episode. And in this episode, I'm actually driving the OMODA C5. So this right here is Chery's new addition to our market, being a brand of its own. So this is Chery's baby, but they don't want it to have the Chery shadow, if you get what I mean. It's a brand of its own. It's kind of a sporty, luxurious package, or sporty, luxurious segment of Chery called OMODA. With the O meaning oxygen and moda meaning modern, you can easily tell that Chery simply meant this is a breath of modern design. And what introduces us to this O universe is nothing other than the OMODA C5. And in my opinion, I think this is the best car to introduce us to this new brand. So the front end design of this car looks minimal, sleek, sporty at the same time. So there's daytime running lights that look so sharp and bright at the same time, met or joined together by this chrome bar that goes from the left hand side to the right hand side, and the mesh in the middle is kind of composed of the Chery logo. This car is undoubtedly something different. I mean, the headlights are all the way at the bottom where you would expect the fog lights to be. This is because the daytime running lights are above at that position where you'd normally have the headlights. And as odd as the front end design setup sounds, the front end looks amazing. Definitely 10 heads as you're driving down the road. And I honestly think this is the selling point of this design. Moving right over to the side profile. The side profile is luxury and sporty at the same time. The sharper lines that make it look aggressive, and a sloping roof that also makes it look like a sporty SUV. Another thing that makes this side profile so aggressive are these 18-inch aluminum alloy wheels that are covered in gloss black. And if you know me, you know how I love gloss black wheels. Sadly, these wheels are only available on the Lux S, Elegance, and Elegance S models. The Tech model only gets the 17-inch aluminum alloys. Enough about the side profile now. Let's move over to the rear end. So the rear end is kind of a hit or miss, depending on who you ask. Me personally, I love the rear end. I love those double spoilers there at the top there. They make it look aggressive, and they add that thing to the sloping roof that goes at the back. And if you could look at the tail lights, it has the same trend as the daytime running lights in the front. They look like they're one piece, but it's actually two tail lights, and the center part is just a placeholder for the OMODA badge. Before we get to the interior, let me show you guys this cool party trick. And that right there is remote start. This feature has been out in so many vehicles before for years now, but you'd be surprised how many people have never seen this. Okay, the interior. Now I'm gonna need to add some dramatic music to introduce this amazing looking interior. Cue music. Okay, enough. Back to the review. So this amazing looking interior has this massive center console that allows you to pretty much do everything you'd need to do in this interior. It has a wireless charger not only for your phone, but also for your key. It has two cup holders, the gear knob, and a button and a scroll that allows you to switch on and off the infotainment system and control the volume, but it doesn't allow you to use as left and right knobs to move around the infotainment system. For that, you have to lean forward and touch the 10.25 inch infotainment screen. The infotainment system itself is honestly not that hard to use, and I like the fact that it has wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. Although I wasn't really able to use the CarPlay, I don't know if it's my phone or it's what, but every single time I'd connect it to a cable, it'll work pretty much instantly, but not wirelessly. The car itself has a Sony sound system that honestly sounds quite fair, but it's honestly not top there with the Harman Kardon systems. My top two features of this infotainment system is the 360-degree view camera that allows you to also check the top view, and you can really see the side markers on a parking lot, and you park perfectly pretty much every single time. Feature number 2 was the headlight alignment feature in the infotainment system. Such a basic feature, but I really love the fact that I can raise the height of the headlights. I can literally tilt them up or tilt them down. There's a whole lot more features, from changing ambient lighting to using voice commands.
What's up?
open sunroof.
Got it. It's opening.
With a lot of plastic in the interior, the build quality isn't really that bad. There's no squeaking noises. I tried to shake the center console so many times, it's so firm and stable as well. The front seats are not only sporty looking, they're also comfortable, electric and also ventilated, so you can have them heated or cooled from the infotainment system. From the driver's view, you're welcomed by this 10.25-inch digital gauge cluster, which allows you to see a lot of stuff, including the blind spot detection, rear cross traffic alerts, lane departure warnings, and all these other safety driver assistant features. Moving right on to the back, the legroom is enough, but one thing that's concerning is the headroom. Because of the sloping roof, the headroom is compromised. The top 4 models of the C5 have a power trunk door, which means you can not only open the trunk, but also close it electronically. On the topic of the trunk, we're going to speak about the boot space. The C5 offers 378 liters of boot space, which can be increased when folding the rear seats, and it jumps up to 1075 liters. With all that being said, we're going to move over to performance. So the C5 has a 1.5 liter turbocharged inline-4 engine, putting down 115 kilowatts of power and 230 Newton meters of torque, moving the front wheels via a 7-speed CVT transmission. To be quite honest, when I first heard those numbers, I was a little bit skeptical. But having lived with this car for a little over a week and a half, I was able to do all my day-to-day commuting at ease. And I was actually quite confident to overtake trucks and bigger cars like that. Something else I really enjoyed about this car, when you're cruising, it's so nice and comfortable. The one thing that annoys me is that there's so many bings and bongs and sounds and notifications for pretty much every single thing. Nonetheless, the ride quality of this car was actually quite decent. I actually just changed the steering wheel feel from comfort to sport because the comfort felt a little bit too soft, and I really love the fact that this car allows you to go to the infotainment system and change only the steering wheel from comfort to sport, which actually gave it a little bit more feel. It actually felt a bit more steadier, and I could feel the road a little bit more than when it's on comfort. Another thing I actually had to get used to was the brakes. The brakes actually felt like they brake a little bit too late, but it's actually not that. It's just the pedal itself, how it's set up in this car. But within 2 or 3 days of driving it, I was actually quite used to it. I was driving this car mostly on eco, and when you're driving on eco on automatic transmission, you can barely even feel the transmission change gears. But when you put it on sport, you just feel like you're torturing that tiny little 1.5 liter engine. OMODA claims that this car does 6.9 liters per 100, but I was actually averaging about 8.7 to 8.9, which is honestly good for an SUV, but to be honest, I was a bit sad about that figure. I was actually hoping to get around 7.5. Now we get on to the price, and this is where I think OMODA has it on the sweet spot. Before I continue, please pause the video and drop a comment of how much you think this car costs. So this elegance model goes for 507,900 Rand, which is just amazing for what you get. Bear in mind, this is still not the cheapest C5 you can get. The cheapest one is the Tech variant, which goes for 447,900 Rand. You can also get the Lux, which goes for 477,900 Rand, and the Lux S, which goes for 479,900 Rand, and the Elegance S, which is the top tier, the top variant, which goes for 509,900 Rand. This video is sponsored by Change Cars. If you're looking at buying or selling your car, check out www.changecars.co.za and get connected to South Africa's top dealerships. In conclusion, if you're looking for a stylish, tech-savvy SUV, I would honestly suggest you add this to your list and compare with all the features that you need in an SUV. So if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos and click the notification bell so you get notified every single time I drop a video.